Lucio Fulci's at it again. This Italian director released 3 horror films in 1981 alone, and The Beyond was the first one released that year. It's the middle of his Gates of Hell trilogy, and many believe that it's one of his best films. It's one of his highest rated films after all. Now, I love zombie and I love House by the Cemetery, so I was super excited to dive into this one, and hopefully you are too. Welcome to the HellBound Horror Show. The Beyond is about a woman who purchases an old dilapidated hotel to fix it up and hopefully make a career running the place. Little does she know, the building is built on one of the 7 gates to hell. The gate is open and the dead start walking the earth. The premise has a ton of potential and I love the story and lore behind it. However, the script fails to meet any of the expectations that it tries to set up. The setup doesn't feel grand or monumental like opening a gate to hell should feel. It almost feels like it's another way to get zombies into the film. This film feels like a zombie movie more than anything else. It just feels like more of the same from Fulci, especially after watching Zombie 2. And even though I was disappointed in the story, let's face it, who watches a Fulci film for its narrative? No one. It's all about some solid cinematography, dreamlike atmosphere, surrealist qualities, and awesome special effects score. The Beyond has all of these qualities in droves, especially the gore. The gore is completely over the top, just like most of his movies. If you're into that, then this is the movie for you. Also, there's a ton of violence against the eyes. I don't know what it is about Fulci, but he just loves the eyes. And we get 3 instances of eye violence in this film. We get an eye being plucked out, a spider eating an eyeball out of its socket, a lady who is shoved onto a spike on the wall, and the spike goes through her head, pushing her eyeball out. All of these instances are top notch, but it's weird to see Fulci so focused on the eyes. I mean, after all, he is the same director who did the eyeball splinter scene in Zombie 2. It's almost like his calling card. It's not a Fulci film unless there's focus on the eyeballs. Speaking of the eyes in the film, they may serve a deeper purpose after all. The YouTube channel In Praise of Shadows brought up an interesting theory about the Beyond being borderline Lovecraftian. There is a lot of cosmic horror that went over my head on first viewing. The Book of Ebon makes an appearance and the Gate of Hell isn't your typical version of hell, but instead, it's a place outside of comprehension. Whatever this force is from the Beyond, instead of causing the typical Lovecraftian madness, it instead causes blindness. Every character who experiences this force from beyond eventually becomes blind, almost as if their body can't comprehend what is beyond, so it intentionally leaves them in the dark. It captures that essence of Lovecraftian horror, and in these moments, this film is spectacular. The atmosphere here is great, and even though the plot eventually becomes your generic zombie flick, it's done super well. Speaking of zombies, apparently some German backers wanted zombies in the film because Fulci's Zombie 2 was such a hit. Fulci of course obliged, but the zombies' involvement does feel forced and a little last minute. Cinematography of course is on point. Lots of stuff in the background and foreground. I don't know what it is about Fulci films, but everything looks so moist and moldy. It looks rather tangible and grubby. It all adds to the atmosphere and experience. Even though the film was a letdown for me initially, it was my fault. I put too high of expectations on the plot. At the end of the day, it's just another gory zombie-filled outing for Fulci. At least that was my initial opinion when writing this review months ago. The more I watch it, and the more I think about it, the more it impresses me. Even dumb stuff like how there's a basement in a Louisiana building, the do not entry sign, or how there's just acid sitting in an unmarked container in a medical lab, all of it just adds charm to the film. None of it makes sense, but that's the beauty of Fulci. The film is more about feel than concrete storytelling. It's a nightmare and a heck of a ride. One more thing to note. This is an Italian picture. For those not familiar with Italian horror films of this era, the dubbing and voice acting may throw you off a bit. Directors would have all the actors speak their native tongue when filming, and everything is dubbed over for the different languages later. For those not used to it, it may seem jarring and could take you out of the film. Once you've gotten used to it, it's honestly not too bad and adds to the enjoyment of these films. Let me know your opinion on The Beyond, and what's your favorite Fulci movie in the comments below. And that's all I have for tonight, so as always, thank you so much for watching. Stay healthy, stay safe, and take care everyone.